and gentlemen, welcome to Best Ball Bros. Welcome back to Week 14. I'm Matt.
I'm Aaron. That only took 3 takes.
Only took 3 takes this time. One of these days, you'll accept that.
These days.
But I guess not this time.
Well, buddy, how do you like the new studio?
The new studio is looking awesome.
Yes. Hopefully it doesn't sound like we're in a cave.
I'm pretty sure it's actually doing a lot better at sound absorption.
Hopefully.
So
it kind of shoots it in one direction. So.
we might sound a little crispier.
Ooh, crispy.
We got a new lounge area for the studio.
We're slowly up.
So one day the mics.
Yes.
We won't be rocking
That's
$10
that we
mics.
did. Everybody says, "Oh, it's super easy to start a podcast," and then they're like, "Yeah, but then you need to spend $400 on a microphone." It's like, hey, look, you do the producing. Like, you barely like to listen to us at all.
I mean, producing in so far as editing and
yes. So how was your football weekend, buddy?
not too bad. I could only listen to my Vikings because they were not shown here. So I got to listen to them put an absolute stomping on the Commanders.
No thanks to the offense.
What are you talking about? JJ threw for 3 touchdowns.
No, that was all defense.
Look, the defense was incredible.
And it helps when, we're gonna go crazy, different rabbit holes today.
You are already upset. You sent me a text about the hit that
this isn't even that section.
Oh, really?
Washington, what are you doing?
In what regard are you talking
about?
Do
not send out your franchise quarterback with a dislocated elbow and expect him not to fall on the elbow.
That is bad.
You ruined RG3.
Yeah. Let him go out on FedEx Field and run on a terrible ACL.
Already half torn ACL.
On a terrible field.
And, oh my goodness, this makes me feel like some franchises are just cursed.
But you would have thought that the new ownership would have changed things.
Like, I can only guess the thought process had to be something to the extent of the doctors cleared him. It's his non-throwing elbow. And maybe he'll be smart enough to not land on it.
I think these things are too unpredictable. And just the mere fact of him falling on it was the training staff was sprinting on the field.
Yes.
So,
well, and back in Pee Wee football, they teach you don't put your arms.
Yes.
But it's just human reaction.
Yeah, it's a natural reaction, but you are taught to break it as soon as possible. And like they had people backpedaling and just when you fall, arms to the chest. Arms to the chest, cross your arms, fall.
Roll.
Yes, fall and roll. So that was kind of day one stuff when you were learning. So you would have thought that he wouldn't have done that. Yes. But he absolutely should not have been on that field.
No, and that's not even the worst one of the weekend, unfortunately. You had Daniel Jones go down, who was already playing on a fractured leg.
Yeah. That came out last week that he was playing on a fractured tibia.
And
then he tears his Achilles.
That might have just cost me the championship in our work.
Really?
Because I have
What's up, Beaver?
Well, that's Beaver. Welcome back, buddy. Just headbutts you right off the couch.
Last episode, you were holding him for the majority of the recording because he loves being snuggled, and he just came running in and headbutted me for some cuddles. So, because I spent the last 10 minutes sitting on your couch petting him.
Yes. So, Daniel Jones, that might have cost me a championship. I have Trevor Lawrence as my backup, which should have played him today.
He played well.
They are on a hot streak.
Yeah.
Maybe I might be able to save it with it.
But
I had the Daniel Jones, Alec Pierce stacked out behind a JSN and Jamar Chase as my receiver core. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And
so how pissed were you to see that Alec Pierce non-touchdown?
I was frustrated with it. I was more pissed and pissed is the wrong word when it comes to an injury, but when he went out with a concussion, it was
because that's the end of his day.
Yeah, not only the end of his day, but nowadays you normally miss a week with a concussion.
Yeah.
So I will be going into the opening round of the playoffs with no Daniel Jones, no Alec Pierce on that.
But you have JSN.
I do have JSN, and I have Jamar Chase, so that's salvageable.
Yeah, that's salvageable.
So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, just with the Colts, it makes a little bit more sense. You're smack dab in the middle of the playoff hunt. Daniel Jones was your best option at quarterback, so I understand If he says he can play, I understand that. Washington's nowhere near playoff.
Now, my counterpoint to your argument is the training staff, I think, needs to be more involved when it comes to a guy on a 1-year contract like Daniel Jones, who is set to make a lot of money. Yeah, that I disagree with what you just said there, man.
Man, they're trying to get in the playoffs.
They are trying to get in the playoffs, but
they're trying to get in the playoffs.
You got to protect him from himself at this point, because really he probably shouldn't have been out there in the first place.
And that's been already confirmed today. I mean, me and you were talking right now, Sunday night. It's already confirmed it's an Achilles tear.
Yeah.
He's already confirmed to have surgery, I think tomorrow. They're rushing.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
Oh,
which extremely sucks, because we've seen quarterbacks, it takes over a year for that Achilles to repair.
Yeah, I think we might see the Colts draft a quarterback.
Very, very possible. I would honestly, they probably should. If they don't trust Anthony Richardson, then you probably have to.
I think,
but the problem is that, so the real problem with that is, if you draft somebody, then Anthony Richardson is probably going to outplay them, and you're not there for the long haul. You're not there to.
I think you got to trade.
You think just trade Anthony Richardson?
Just trade him. I think that's the only way you're going to. I think that's the way to get the best value out of him.
So we did. I mean, you did. You kind of laid the groundwork. Was that 2 weeks ago? Maybe it was 1 week ago, where we just started talking about quarterbacks will be changing places at the end of this year. Tyler's probably gone.
Yes.
You're proposing Anthony Richardson's going to get traded. We have a lot of needy teams, and so Anthony Richardson, trade him to either the Jets or
no.
or
I know where I want him to go.
Or trade him to the Raiders.
No, I want him to go to the Rams.
Not terrible.
If you think
they are absolutely not afraid to mortgage the future, as we've seen with them do before.
If you think and Grant Stafford is playing phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think he's second favorite for the MVP right now. They just killed Zona today because they were mad about losing to Carolina.
That's exactly what you need to do after getting embarrassed.
Yes.
You need to come out and just absolutely steamroll somebody.
I think it's Colin Cowherd that has always said this, and I strongly believe in it. When a team gets embarrassed, especially in the NFL, when all these teams are good,
yes,
when they get embarrassed, the next week they're going to lay the hammer.
And unfortunately, they were playing. I don't want to say cupcake, but not one of the best.
No. But no. I mean, if you think you can get another year out of Stafford, let's say you make a deep playoff run. If you're the Rams,
okay,
you go conference championship.
Okay,
but you lose.
Uh-huh.
If you can say, Stafford, man, we're gonna roll it back one more year. We're gonna bring in Anthony Richardson behind you.
Uh-huh.
You know,
one thing I would have to look into is, if a first round pick is traded, does the receiving team then get the option for the first round for the fifth round tender, or is that voided?
I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or does the original team have to use the fifth round? Because at that point, this is year 2 of Anthony Richardson. They'd be getting him at year 3, and
no, this is year 3.
Is it really year 3?
This is year 3 because 2 years ago was his rookie. Last year was the year everybody thought he was going to break. He didn't. This year he didn't. See, this is his 30.
Sure about this?
Yep.
I thought this was year 2.
We got the Google machine.
We do have the Google.
Anthony. Yep. His rookie year was 2023. 557 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. 2024. 1,800 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. This year, he has 9 passes.
Man, if I'm the Rams, I don't want to trade for him then, unless if I know I could use the 5th round tender. And
he's just raw.
He's
probably
sitting behind somebody like Stafford would absolutely be the best for him.
He's just pure raw. That's all he is. And if you can find somebody that can mold him the right way, you know. But so there's quarterback problems, man. There's a lot of quarterback problems.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of problems with defensive play and dirty.
You are upset about that. And
I'm upset because I take slander from my Saints playing defense years after it happened.
Uh-huh.
And in plays like that, where that's obviously a dirty.
I'm not going to defend it.
It's defendable if you don't see him coming across the field and then duck your shoulder and go for the leg. If you're turning and reacting and just hitting what's in front of you, that's different.
Mhm.
It's completely different. And it's completely different if you're wrapping somebody up at the legs and then actively just throwing your shoulder into somebody's knee.
So the things to consider in this is one, that was a third string corner on a team that is very shallow at cornerback depth. And two, when you're looking at things in slow-mo, it is a lot easier to
Man, full speed.
ascribe
Full
intent.
speed it is. And what have we
The
always
only
heard?
thing I've seen is when it was at
Yeah, you listened to it. You didn't see it live.
yeah, I didn't see it live. I only had to listen.
It looked bad.
I'm sure it did because the leg it rippled like jello.
Well, I mean, that's the prime example of why you hear all these receivers say, please hit me in the do not hit me in the leg.
Yeah.
Hit me up high. Do not hit me in the leg.
I mean, but the thing is though, is that he was airborne.
Yeah.
And so
if his leg would have been planted.
yeah.
Oh.
There had been two pieces.
Yeah. It almost wasn't that hit.
Almost, yeah. So
anybody didn't see it, we're talking about the Zach Ertz injury that occurred in the game today where he took a shoulder to the
knee.
Lower thigh, knee area.
Right above the knee. He got hit right above the knee. And his knee very much so bent the wrong way.
Yeah, it looked exactly how you would think it looked.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately for him, that is probably the end of his career because he is my age.
Yeah, and we sneezed the wrong way, and we don't come. Oh, I had stuff I want to show you and talk to you about, and then I cleared it all out. So, do you have anything you'd like? I know we kind of went our own ways.
Oh, then we just watched the end of the Texans versus the Chiefs, and we just saw the swan song of Travis Kelce's career.
I mean,
oh God, and he's dancing.
Collinsworth is dancing. I'm so close to listening to these Sunday night games.
Him and Terry Bradshaw are just unlistenable now.
Yes. So I know I talked to you about this funny stat while we were on the phone the other day.
Okay.
What round do you draft Brandon Aubrey? You're laughing, but this might be a serious question.
Okay, so go ahead and just read his point values.
Yes.
Okay. And
I'm just going to read you the whole thing.
Hit us with the stats. Right.
Brandon Aubrey.
Who did this tweet come from?
This is from the Underdog Fantasy.
Okay.
So it's as verified as you can be.
Yeah.
Brandon Aubrey of the Dallas Cowboys has more fantasy points, 163, this season than Justin Jefferson, Saquon Barkley, Ashton Genty, Drake London. He would currently, now this is before the Sunday night games, and this is before the Sunday games because they played Thursday.
Yeah.
At that time, he would have currently been ranked as the quarterback 22 for the season.
Yes.
Running back 12 for the season. Receiver 7 for the season, or tight end number 2 in fantasy football for 2025. So
again, wide receiver 7 is bonkers.
Yes.
Especially since you were probably getting him in the third to last round. If you jumped the gun on kicker, which I always take kicker as the second to last and defense as last.
I argue that's the smartest way to do it.
Because you should probably be streaming defense.
Yes. Play matchups, and then if you
have a good one and there's no good ones available, stream defense.
Like I picked up, for example, this year I picked up Cleveland halfway through the year, and I was like, okay, Myles Garrett's going to break a record for sacks.
Oh yeah,
let's just hold on.
Yeah, hold on to that team.
So,
although he seemed to struggle. No, that wasn't Garrett, but they had trouble taking down Cam Ward at one point, though.
Oh, I see. I saved that video to show it to you to be like, that's a mad quarterback, buddy. That was
who was it? Who's that was trying to sack him?
Oh, I don't even know.
But they jumped to get extra leverage, and he shook it and threw that dude down
with his off arm.
Yeah. So, anyways, Brandon Aubrey. The problem with that, though, is part of the reason he is scoring so much is because their defense is just absolute hot dog water.
Oh, their defense is bad, but their offense is good.
Dak,
good.
So Dak
has had a great year.
Yes,
fantasy wise.
Yes, Dak is essentially Tony Romo 2.0. Nobody wants to give him the credit being a good quarterback, but
Dak has way better weapons than Tony.
Yeah, but that's not like Tony Romo had
Well,
bad
no,
weapons.
that's sad because Tony Romo had Dez Bryant and Jason.
Yeah, but so Jason Witten was he was steady Eddie. He was going to catch your 4-yard passes over the middle and sometimes sneak.
I love Jason.
And Des Bryant though, he was really good, but he just also one was kind of cursed, and two just couldn't. He never kind of lived up to the hype of Des Bryant.
Yeah.
So
I know this is completely off topic,
but
we can have this conversation.
Okay.
I scheduled us.
Oh, so we're done talking about the Cowboys.
I don't like talking.
Fair enough.
But I'll go get. Hold on. I'll go get our guy.
Oh God.
Yes. All right. And it prank tails
I
this
hope-
week, but here in the studio,
I hope the rest of you are as terrified as I am as he leaves
here in the
room.
studio, we currently have Mr. Big Arms Justin Herbert.
Where did you get this gigantic picture of Justin?
I have two of them.
You have two. Why do you have two of them?
My dad and his friends from elementary school are all organed up.
Okay.
And the keeper league that we talk about on this podcast is ran through my dad. My dad's the commissioner, and we play with all of his friends.
Okay.
Well, one of them is also a Charger fan, so he's a Duck/Charger.
Makes sense.
So my dad got these to send to him when my dad with Justin Herbert beat him in fantasy football. And my dad my dad was gonna send it to him until he realized it was like $120 to ship it.
Yeah.
So
he probably should have gone with a poster instead of a stiff.
Yeah, that's on cardboard.
Yes.
Yes.
The stiff cardboard. Whereas if you got him a poster that could be rolled up and then shipped in a tube,
yes,
that would have saved him a lot of money.
So now in our studio, we have guest Mr. Justin Herbert whenever we want.
How does it feel playing for Harbaugh? Tell us the truth.
I love it.
How insane is that man?
I don't like the milk with steak.
Milk steak!
Milk steak! I honestly think Justin Herbert loves.
I mean,
he's the best coach he's had by far.
A lot of players do love playing for Harbaugh. Although his act gets, I don't want to say stale, old. His act gets old. Eventually he plays himself out of a job. But for the first 3 years, players love him. Maybe even the first 5 years. But then eventually the stalwarts kind of tire of his shenanigans.
I don't know if we're going to get an honest answer out of him.
Probably not.
But I would love to understand what the problem is with Quentin Johnson. Why is he so good and so bad at the same time, Justin?
I think, honestly, the answer to that question is just as simple as they have so many options.
I think Quentin Johnson's one of those kids where when you get one drop, you end up getting.
You talked about that at the beginning of the year. But it seems like every player on that team has had a just complete go off week. Gadsden has had a go off week. Vidal and Hampton, who probably will not come back tomorrow, but will come back next week.
Is he not? I thought he was cleared to come back tomorrow.
He's listed as questionable, and they're saying that he's probably yeah.
It didn't show that on.
It did for me.
I'm not calling you a liar.
No, it showed for me that they're saying he's questionable and probably will not play because I think they said an ankle problem.
Well, he's coming back from the ankle, ain't he? So.
But anyways, every guy's gone off. At the beginning of the year, man, Quentin Johnson was just a monster for 5 weeks. And then
Amari Hampton logged a full practice.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then in that case, my roster is probably going to be hot garbage in the contest.
I mean, not to jump too far ahead, but well,
let's save that. Save that for a minute. We've been hopping topics. A little too bad.
We're a little loosey goosey today.
Yeah. So, but the Chargers, Quentin Johnston's gone off, and then Gadsden went off for a game. Vidal's gone off for 2 games. Hampton was coming into his own right up into his injury, and then they even had a week where old Steady Eddie from last year,
Keenan Allen.
No, well, Keenan Allen did have a week, but I'm talking about
Ladidi McConkey.
Yes, Lad McConkey. Thank you for that. I was spacing on his name.
I got
Lad McConkey even had a week where he had a 20-point week.
Yeah.
So I think it's just rotating cast, and Quentin Johnson will have his day in the sun again.
All right. Yeah. Hopefully.
That is my I am not in the locker room, guys.
That'd be
Jerry, bring us down.
Please, Jerry.
We want to see.
Know,
honestly, we just want to.
We know we don't have a lot of listeners, Jerry, but we know you're listening.
We just want to see Pickens go crazy.
I can't figure out how to put into words how frustrating it is for somebody who was halfway decent at sport. Okay? Just halfway, not great.
Uh-huh.
I was decent. I could hold my own.
You almost went to D2 college.
Almost. I couldn't stay healthy.
Okay. I had to join because I would not.
And
I
the level
I could have walked on as a long snapper. That's the best I could.
I'd walk on as the water boy and be happy. It is so frustrating to see somebody that clearly, if he was with any of us and just ran a 40, everybody be like, that kid's fucking different.
Oh yeah.
To just be lazy out there.
Well,
and it's hard to say that because yes, you are playing, some would say, one of the hardest sports in the world with car crashes that happen on every play. You're being double covered because CeeDee Lamb is out of the game.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, hey man, your effort level isn't there. But when you have other professionals saying.
Plus, for him to get the ball, he needs 7 other people to do their job right.
Yes. And when it comes to everybody else doing their job right, and then you want to be lazy.
Yeah.
Man, just why? Just why?
I would honestly just guess that it's frustration. And we know from his time in Pittsburgh, he is kind of easily frustrated.
He's definitely got that diva wide receiver feel.
Yes.
And he's got talent. We can all see it. Hey, man, I need you to do it for at least don't give up, especially when you all are kind of still in the playoff.
Yeah.
The deep ball where
it hit at his feet.
Yes.
And he never looked for it.
When me, you, anybody that watches football knows if he would have turned back around and went towards the ball, even if the DB hit him, you're getting that pass interference call every day of the week.
Oh, absolutely. The underthrown ball is
cash money to a receiver.
It is the number one weapon in the NFL right now. The slightly underthrown ball because it's a DPI every single time.
DPI, 15 yards, automatic first down.
It's almost to the point where we're probably going to see rule changes next year because I think it's fine.
It's not when there are constantly false starts.
So, but that's just that is just that you need the refs to call it.
Yes,
you need the refs to call the offense.
That's the problem. They're not calling it.
Yes, but that is not we can't have this play.
So far this year, we've seen multiple occasions where they're not calling these false starts.
Yes.
We've seen, I think, twice now so far this year where they've either blown the whistle dead way too early and there's been a fumble on the play.
Yeah.
Or they're blowing it way too late and somebody's getting hurt.
Yeah.
They're not officiating this play right. So if you all can't officiate it right, we're going to take it off the field.
Right now, the Eagles' offensive line is they're borrowing on their reputation from last year of being the best offensive line in the league, and it wasn't really close last year. They're running on that reputation while not being the best offensive line in football anymore. So they're getting away with stuff, but it just needs to be called correctly.
Yes.
That's all it is to me because I still firmly believe in you need to stop the play. If don't take it out of the game, stop the play, be better. Offensive lines are already at a disadvantage. So stop. It shouldn't be that hard to stop the offensive line. The only reason this play goes away, in my opinion, is because the Eagles went out there and ran the tush push 4 or 5 plays in a row to score a touchdown, because that's when you piss off the owners so much that they're just like, okay, something needs to be done because it's a boring play. But unfortunately, it works, and I don't think you take away a play because it works, especially when other people have tried it and it doesn't work for them.
I mean,
for crying out loud,
the argument.
We have teams lining up tight ends at quarterback because they think that their tight end can run it better because they're stronger than the quarterback, which fair, and it's not working.
I mean, that's honest. That's both sides of it.
Yeah.
Both sides of it is it's a legal play. We run it. You all can't figure it out. And then the other side of the play is, yeah, but you run it wrong.
Teams are kind of figuring it out.
They're starting. It's hard to.
There's been a couple teams that have stopped it.
I mean, part of the thought process with it has to be it's a pile of bodies. Good luck finding the ball.
Yeah.
That has to be part of it. So, we're having this conversation. So I quickly, and I don't like using PFF rank, but
they've absolutely dropped off. I used to love PFF,
yes,
but honestly, it became apparent that they weren't doing the best work anymore, and then
seems biased. It seems like a really biased.
They were also running high on a reputation after after the NFL adopted them for Sunday Night Football and Collinsworth was in the booth, then they were kind of high on themselves and their processes weren't running the same anymore.
Yeah.
And then up two of their most notable analysts leave. It wasn't even two. Honestly, it was like five of their most notable analysts.
I was gonna say, I think Fox hired a bunch.
And 33rd Team hired Sam Monson and Steve Palazzolo, who, if you're not following Steve Palazzolo, by the way, you should, because he's hilarious.
So having the thought process of the Eagles are rotating or running on this reputation of good old. Coming into week 14, they are not even in the 10 top ranked offensive lines for week 14
by PFF.
This is by some goofy page. I looked it up on PFF and they had a paywall, and I'm not dealing with that. The PFF had the top two ranked as the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts going into, but then the rest, it was behind a paywall.
Okay.
So just, a quick kind of search, but it makes sense. I'm gonna read you these names and it really makes sense.
Okay.
Chicago Bears, LA Rams, Denver Broncos, Pittsburgh, surprisingly, Dallas, Carolina, Indianapolis, Miami, Cincy, and Detroit are what this
foul on the play with Cincy.
The Cincy, Miami, and Pittsburgh kind of have me questioning this.
I would believe Pittsburgh because Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell have had pretty good season so far. I don't really know about Miami other than A-Chain he's got himself a season going. He's no Jonathan Taylor, but
yeah, it's good. The only thing I have to say, I had a busy Sunday, so I wasn't able to keep an eye on everything, and I apologize for that. I did not do you a service, and I'm sorry.
I got to listen to my game, and then I was doing a whole lot of dad.
Yeah, I was doing son / father duty all.
Yeah, you were helping your dad, and
but we were able to catch most of it. We talked about all the injury news that we saw.
I had two crisis averted. Two, yes. One, I had an earbud go missing for almost a full day.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so
that's a death sentence for what we do for a living. But
I found it. Well, side note, you're the psycho walking around across people's property in public, listening to a Stephen King book with a phone speaker.
Yeah, look, man,
you're wild, man. You're wild.
And look, if somebody just comes out and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm just, it's Stephen King, and they're like, "Oh, okay." It's like,
yeah, that makes sense.
That's psychopath.
A psycho listening to a psycho. Yeah. Okay.
I'm about halfway through this book, and it's an old book, Tommy Knockers. And I can't tell if I like it or if I'm just trying to figure out the next part of the mystery. I feel like I'm going to get to the end of this book, and the mystery is going to be something like super obvious. And it's just going to be like, oh.
I mean, so not to completely derail the podcast, but I don't really like Stephen King because I used to listen to podcasts done by writers, and most writers will sit down and outline a book, and then, or they will have like an idea of what's going to happen in the book, and then they'll start writing the book. Stephen King sits down, puts pen to page,
and just goes.
It's called seat of your pants writing, and he just puts it out there. And then the way a lot of his books read, he doesn't do a second draft. He just sends it to the editor. And that bothers me a lot, especially when he struggles to stick the landing as much as he does.
So I have noticed that in this book in particular, there is a lot of mentioning so the way he does it is each chapter is focusing on different people in this town. And a lot of it is, you never hear about this character until the chapter right before. And there's a little bit mention of this character.
Okay.
And then the next chapter, now I'm going to tell a story. And it just feels like he did that constant. And so it's got kind of a good rhythm. But then part of it's just like, okay, I see what you're doing.
It kind of sounds a little bit like Needful Things, too. He did similar things, although I mean,
Look,
I don't know.
this Tommy Knockers book is highly recommended. It's definitely got the feel that I was looking for when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to read next. Because I wanted a book that felt like an '80s horror film, essentially.
This is the thing: is that I've listened and read several Stephen King books, and I have also started 2 Stephen King books and stopped reading or listening to them because I just can't continue. One of them is, I think, book 3 or book 4 in the Dark Tower series, where it was like, hey, this book's really interesting. And then all of a sudden it hit this point, and I'm like, where is this going? Um, and then it was The Stand. I tried to listen to The Stand. I got like 2 hours into it and looked down, and it's like, you still have 100 hours left in this book. And I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't even think I'm halfway through it yet, and I still have like 8. So
Yeah, so Stephen King, not my favorite author. He does have some good work out there. He is not my favorite. I liked Needful Thing. I'd recommend Needful Things if you're looking for another one. But I'm kind of at the point where I might re-listen to some of my old books because I'm kind of struggling finding another book to go to.
I've got a couple, thanks to a combination of interesting people that Joe Rogan has on his podcast and Dan Carlin. I have a catalog of books that I eventually need to get through. So
I just like listening to Dan Carlin. I'm not sure I want to listen to his sources.
some of his sources are as dry as you would imagine.
That's the problem. Is Dan Carlin's such a good story. I've probably said this on this podcast before, but Dan Carlin is what you want your history class to be.
Yes, chef's kiss.
I hated history class. Listened to hardcore history on a whim, and I was like, why isn't this history class?
Yes.
This is interesting. This is exciting. This is compelling.
I mean, every time we see an episode either coming,
Yeah,
or we drop everything we're doing.
Although you listen to a Dan Carlin podcast and you get about 3 hours in and you're like, I need to take a break.
Yes.
And I need to listen to something else.
I need
and then I come back.
And if it's talking anything about current wartime or what topic is war, you need a hug.
Yeah.
You need a hug.
Yeah.
You need a hug.
Or how the Vikings treated their
slaves. This is a family podcast. This is a family podcast.
Just saying, they broke their wills.
Yes.
Including the men.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, support your local libraries, please, and let's get back to reading more. Let's go back to football.
So, do you want to just head into the captain's contest, or do you have something else you want to talk about?
I have one more thing.
Okay.
I would not be a good fan if I did not shout out Mr. Tyler Shuck for rushing for 2 touchdowns today and pulling the upset over the Tampa Bay Bucks.
The upset you didn't need.
I didn't need, because all I needed was a win to win this Eliminator League. The best 2 matchups I had were the Cleveland-Tennessee matchup. Tennessee won that. Or Tampa, who had the highest point spread, over New Orleans.
Yeah.
I went with Tampa. Thank you, New Orleans.
Honestly, it seemed like a safe bet.
Yes, and so shout out Tyler Shuck, shout out my New Orleans Saints. But yes, we can dive. Oh, Mr. Justin, Mr. Herbert, you're here, and you are part of our Captain Showdown this week. How are you going to make it back to fly and play in the game?
So, are we transferring to the Captain Showdown?
Let's do it.
So, that was our can opening sound.
Oh, there's the gulp. There is the gulp. All right.
So,
how gross was this?
This was not enjoyable building this roster.
No, I don't know if enjoyable would be anywhere near the adjective I would use for this.
I hated it. I opened it up and I was like, ooh, the Eagles.
We opened it at the same time, and then I actively said out loud, I'm closing it.
Okay. So, how positive are you that Omarion Hampton is coming back?
Man, you're not going to be able to run on the Eagles defense anyway. So maybe use Vidal as the sacrificial baby for this week and saying I'm playing Omarion next week with a better matchup. Maybe.
Probably.
I have Omarion Hampton in my life.
I put Vidal as the captain, especially considering Herbert is hurt.
Yeah, so Herbert is dealing with the surgically repaired fractured hand. So
which is kind of why I went with Vidal, who is a check down monster.
Yeah, but if it's not Herbert, that means it's Trey Lance.
Check down monster.
That's why I went with my captain as the Eagles defense.
I also have the Eagles defense.
I have them. Captain price is only 6,600.
Their normal price is 4,400.
Yeah, well, the captain's price is always more expensive.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, how much was your captain's price?
11,100.
Yeah, I saved $5,000 on my captain.
Yes, you did.
So I have Saquon because I think this is going to be a game where the Eagles jump out and just run the ball.
Fair.
I also have Jalen Hurts because the tush push is still a thing, and I feel like he's good for at least one rushing touchdown.
I also have Jalen Hurts.
I'm creating the story that the Eagles defense are the Eagles defense are holding the Chargers down. The Eagles get out and they run the ball. I have Dallas Goedert because that's the only person that Jalen Hurts knows how to throw the ball to.
Yes, I also have Dallas Goedert.
So I have two options from the Chargers, thinking it's going to be third and fourth quarter. They have to throw the ball. That's where I think they get Omari and Hampton involved with getting him out in space. And I have Lad McConkey.
All right. I just had to change my roster
Okay.
because I realized that I had 5 Eagles. And
you got a 5-1.
It's 4-2 now.
Okay. I have a 4-2. I have a 4-2.
So I have Vidal and McConkey. Okay. I have Hurts, AJ Brown, Goddard, and the Eagles defense. So we have pretty similar lines.
Pretty similar. I went more that the Eagles are going to run the ball. You went more the Eagles are passing.
Well, my whole thing is I think that the Eagles are not afraid to play no mercy ball and just continue run the full playbook. And I
don't think the playbook's good.
So I've been listening to more and more analysts talk, and the Eagles offense is growing to be a more and more running joke of them just straight up calling that offense is a high school offense. There is no depth to that playbook. The defenses know where the wide receivers are going, and that's the problem. From what I'm listening to people that watch the tape,
yes,
they are saying these defenses know where the ball is going before the Eagles.
I can script the first drive for the Philadelphia Eagles if you'd like.
Go for it.
Off tackle right, off tackle left, deep shot to either Devontae Smith or AJ. If they connect, then next it's off right, off left, Dallas Goedert. And then it's off right, off left, tush push, touch.
I mean, I'd love to argue against you, but there's no point.
That's the whole offense. Run. If we get close on the first 2 runs, we're going to run 2 more times. If not, deep shot.
See, part of the problem though is that offensive line is just not as good anymore, and so Saquon is being met at the line more often.
It's tough, man. It's tough. I don't like watching Philadelphia.
I don't like.
It's right up there with watching the Chargers play.
And we get to watch them both tomorrow.
Or not the Chargers. I'm so sorry. I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had back to back. I get to do back to back of watching Sunday night.
What's your problem with the Chiefs? Is it just Kelsey?
No, it's not so much the Chiefs as the way the commentators talk.
Okay.
Yes, Mahomes is awesome. Nothing wrong with it, but he does a lot wrong.
He's kind of built a very large part of his reputation on extending plays and doing amazing things.
Yes.
But the thing is though is that to extend plays, you actually need to be able to extend it and not get murdered. And his offensive line, I mean, they traded away their best offensive lineman to the Bears, who now have the best offensive line according to PFF.
I think they're going to be such a problem here.
You're talking the Bears?
Yeah.
But you also think that the Bears need to trade Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I do.
Now, the one thing about this though is that what's that face all about?
Whoa.
What?
Ben Johnson trades Caleb Williams to Cincinnati for Joe Burrow.
I don't think so.
It restarts the rookie clock in Cincinnati. Chicago gets the quarterback they need to.
Look, Ben Johnson has dealt a quarterback before to get an established veteran. However, I don't think Joe Burrow's that guy.
He took Cincinnati to the Super Bowl.
I don't think
he's that guy.
I don't think he's the guy for Ben Johnson, is what I mean.
Oh, I think he's exactly he's a more athletic Jared Goff.
But they got rid of Jared Goff.
No, Ben Johnson. not fired.
My bad. I flipped it.
Yeah. And Ben Johnson was able to take Jared Goff and do exactly. I love this.
I don't think it's gonna happen, man.
It's not, but I would love it to happen. It can happen. We're Oprah rules.
All right.
It's in the universe now. Let it happen.
So, do you have anything else you want to talk about? Because we have been running for a while.
Have we really?
Yes.
I feel like we've talked for like 50.
Well, this is gonna get cut down, but it's been a minute.
Well, we have future Hall of Famer Justin Herbert in the building, so we had to show off a little bit.
He is not impressed with our football knowledge.
No, I feel like we lose a listener every episode. We had 5. We're down to like -7.
Look, we can always rely on our downloads.
All right, buddy. Well, this is fun, and I love you, and I love you all. Good night, guys.
Good night.